Bonsoir. Okay, so I've been hearing Let Down by Radiohead a lot lately, and also there's this girl that does a really good cover of it. It's quite haunting, actually. I can't remember her name though, but I've been hearing that a lot as well, and I feel like it's weird. It's like it's kind of depressing, but hopeful at the same time. It's a really good song, but I just feel like the message here is that somebody feels quite disillusioned with their life, a bit depressed doesn't feel like the right word to use, but not happy with their current circumstances, like the rat race of life, the 9 to 5, it's like their life is on a hamster wheel and they want something to change, and this isn't someone that's like given up on life, but they're feeling very like stuck in the mundane and just there's no excitement, there's no like love or lust or fun. It's just feeling stuck, I think is the overall feeling I'm getting. So let's get into it and see what this message is about. Ace of Swords, clarity. 9 of Cups, wishes with the Lovers. Okay, actually I'm going to get the Journey first because I haven't used that in a little bit. Okay, so what is this message about, please, Spirit? Let Go by Radiohead. The Crone. It's the first time I've gotten that. Wisdom, empowered, and teacher. So maybe you're about to learn something new, or you're about to meet someone who's going to teach you something new. Maybe this collective, you're itching to experience something new, but to gain more knowledge about something, and you either have just met someone or you're about to meet someone who is going to teach you a lot about some kind of topic, even if it's not like study of the traditional kind, but more like they have just words of wisdom about life, and to not waste time worrying about what people think. It's like I'm getting this vision of someone going to someone for advice about, let's say for instance, a love interest, and this person has many years on you, the collective, and they say, if you love this person and you want to be with them, stop waiting, stop trying to be perfect, stop waiting for the perfect time, just go for it because life's too short. It's kind of like, I know that's a bit of a cliche bit of advice, but kind of like someone whose words just really resonate with you and you trust in it because you trust in their wisdom and their life's experiences. Could be a grandma even. I love you, just as I used a love interest as an example. So although I'm just hearing as well, when I said grandma and I love you came out, this could be someone that has passed over but was a matriarchal figure in your life, that was someone that you were quite close to, someone that loved you dearly, that always had the best advice for you, that's no longer here. But as well, I feel as though you're getting advice from someone, or something is leading you to getting advice from someone, or even you're about to be, I just heard ordained, but that's not what I mean, overcome with some deep knowledge that it's like an epiphany. I'm seeing someone having an epiphany and going, I love you. I just have to be with, like, I have to take this chance. Like someone is being accelerated to take a chance here with someone that they love, but has been holding back. And because your life feels so mundane, or this person's life feels so mundane and boring, and it's like they're sick of feeling like they can't be with you, and they know their life would be so much better with you in it. or you think this person that you love, your life would be so much better with this person in it, and you want to, I feel like you're going to be empowered to go towards someone and tell them how you feel. Yeah, surprise call. There it is. I love when the cards come out as I'm saying those things. Call, message, social DMs with love bombing, but I'm not seeing that in the negative sense. I feel like this literally to me is like there is being a fire being lit under your ass to get into gear and go towards this person. You want to express yourself to someone, or you're about to receive this surprise call. 555 on the clock, transformation, a big change is coming. And I'm seeing someone who, you could be a fire sign, but you wanting to, I just saw Roadrunner. You know, in Looney Tunes, Roadrunner, and you're just taking off towards this person. And literally like there's being a fire lit under your ass. Okay, who is this crone? Past life, cosmic healing and past life. So this person who is going to give you this wisdom to get cracking and go towards this person could be someone that has been with you in every lifetime. Maybe one lifetime they were your mother, or another lifetime you were their parent, and another lifetime you were best friends or siblings, or it's like you've shared lots of life with this person. And it could also be that this is someone that has passed, and you then feel like you're channeling a message directly from an ancestor that is telling you to go for it and go towards this person that you love, and to express how much passion you actually have towards them. And as well, you yourself could have, this happens a lot with people that are spiritual in some way, shape or form anyway, because you grow up with a lot of trauma and not the best, parents or communities. You grow up with people saying, oh, you're so mature for your age, or you seem like such an old soul, and it's more because you've just had to grow up quicker than you should have had to, but that was your life's journey. But through your life's journey, you've been consistently put on the path for healing, and it's come from up above. And I think as well, perhaps you're coming into the wisdom of knowing that this person who entered your life, yes, there may have been lots of conflict, a lot of pain in this connection in the past, but it was required to bring up the things that you needed to heal. And during this separation, you may have even blamed this person for all the pain in your life, but you've come into your own enlightenment and realized that this was all part of the journey, that this person was here to break you open to do the healing. And this is healing over many generations. You're the cycle breaker. You're the one that is going to stop the familial patterns, what your parents did, what your parents' parents did, what your great-grandparents did, and pass it on cycle after cycle after cycle. And you're here to clear all that ancestral karma, all that baggage, all that tradition and culture that just does not serve the future of your lineage. And this was all part of your soul's journey, to go through this journey of cosmic healing. The universe has had a hold of it this whole time. And perhaps this crone energy, it could be someone connected to you, but it could just be the wisdom that you have gained in this lifetime from the healing that you've chosen to go through. Reincarnation. All right, I love you. Synchronicities. Okay, so you've actually been receiving signs of this person, and I'm actually seeing this as well as you've actually always had this person on your mind. Even if it's been a long separation, they've always been, maybe not always at the front of your mind, but they're never not in your thoughts. And I think that there's been an acceleration. I really feel, especially when I'm seeing these two, surprise call and love bombing, there's been an acceleration of signs for you recently. Number, like angel numbers, their name coming up everywhere, your songs playing a lot. Maybe even Let Down by Radiohead is one of your songs, or even if it's not one of your songs, but that or other songs you're hearing make you think of this person, even if it's not a song you two or songs you two shared together, but it still always makes you think of this person because of the lyrics or whatever gets you in your feels. I feel like you've come into acceptance that you love this person and you're not trying to push away that feeling anymore. So it's kind of like for a long time, it's like you hated that you loved them. It made you angry because you just wanted to get over them or for that feeling to go away. But I honestly feel as though you've been hammered with so many signs lately, and they were always there, but you pushed them away. But now you're in a place where you're accepting, no, I'm in love with this person. I want to be with them. And something's pushing you to take this bold move towards them. Again, I feel like there's been some kind of rapid fire acceleration in you that is putting a fire in your bum when it comes to this person and expressing how you feel. And instead of trying to push it away, coming into acceptance that this love isn't going to go away, it's only intensified with time, you're choosing to accept it now. It's kind of like when you feel anxiety and you want to push it down or you want to push it away because it's not a nice feeling. But when you do that, you give it more power and it comes back even stronger. You're realizing now that this love is for this person is not going to go away, and you're not pushing it away anymore. You're accepting of it. Okay, surprise call. Yeah, the passion. I'm hearing distance makes the heart grow fonder, so there could be distance here, but yeah, see, surprise call because you have so much deep emotion for this person. Water signs in tarot are cups. Cups are emotions, and it also represents months if you want to look at it timing wise. So this could be something that's been building up for months. Again, even if it's been longer than a few months, even if it's been years that you've been separated from this person, it's been the last few months that things have really accelerated for you when it comes to this person, not wanting to push away the love you have for them or the passion you have for them, starting to actually alchemize the feeling and realize that it's not something to be shoved down or pushed away, that the feelings are deep for a reason, and those feelings are what are pushing you towards this communication with them. Love bombing. Journal. You want to express yourself. I think as well, I'm seeing this as so much pent up energy. You have always had so much love for this person, so much passion for them, but again, you've spent a long time trying to push it away. But you've reached this point where, whether it's something someone taught you unexpectedly, you got random words of wisdom from a random stranger one day, or family member gave you advice, a friend gave you advice, whatever the situation is, you suddenly had this enlightenment where you're like, I'm ready to heal these things in me. I'm sick of running away from my problems. I'm sick of playing the victim. And through doing that healing, you've been guided by the cosmos to go through this healing. It was always destined to happen this way. The only thing that makes it take longer is your resistance to it. I think you reached this culmination point where you didn't want to resist anymore. You dropped your guard and you lent into the healing. And by doing that, you've accepted what this connection is to you and the depth of it. and now you're ready to express yourself here. And it could even be that you've been journaling a lot about this connection with this person and also reflecting on everything. All the trauma you've been through in your life, all the things you did to this person, all the things they did to you, everything in your life, all the experiences you've gone through. You might have been journaling to reflect on your behaviors and what you needed to heal through. And through doing that, you still wind up coming to the same conclusion that the love you have for this person is something deep and meaningful, and it's not over yet. And you're ready, or going to be ready soon, to communicate that. Yeah, you've been doing inner child healing. Perfect. And also, perhaps you've even been leaning into connection to source, and that's been helping you nurture yourself and have more compassion towards yourself. Dark night of the soul's poking out. I think that's what's happened here. And I think perhaps what's happening is you're coming out of the dark night of the soul, and you're starting to come into those final days where you're getting that motivation back again. I think for a long time, it makes sense, that song about feeling so let down by life, feeling everything's just a hamster wheel every day, nothing's exciting, you're so disillusioned and you just feel flat. There's nothing going, you just feel like there's nothing different and it's never going to be different. But you're coming out of that now, and you're going to feel empowered to move towards this person and to not mope around anymore. That hope and that spark in you comes from your desire towards this person. And it's like the spark that has always been there burning for this person is giving you reason to get excited over life again. Even if you're nervous to approach this person, even that is better than feeling nothing at all. Let me just get one more. Two more. Perhaps your anger issues is a big part of your cosmic healing that you needed to go through. A lot of repressed anger that you always leaked out in the wrong ways, when really it was anger over who treated you badly from a young age, which is usually parents. Yeah, I think you're angry over the separation here. I think it's anger towards yourself about what caused the separation here. And maybe anger issues was a big detriment in your connection with this person, and you held a lot of anger and resentment towards this person too. But you're going over that now. It's heavily on your mind, clearly. But the connection in the 5D is something that you're starting to open yourself up to now. That you're always, green light. That you were always with next to passion. That you were always meant to be with this person, and you don't want to push it away anymore. Okay. So let's get what your current energy is. Let's get the energy around you first. What is the energy around the main collective, please? You will be traveling soon. So again, there could be distance here. No, it's not the right time, followed by give it time. Everything in divine timing, let things flow. So again, if you're just coming out the tail end of a dark night of the soul and you're just starting to get motivation back again and that hope there, it's like you need to let things settle in first. But this is a travel card. You will be traveling soon. So you could have been planning a trip. You're about to plan a trip, and or you could be required to travel towards this person if there's distance. All right, now. Intimacy. So straight away, I'm seeing this as for no, it's not the right time to be confirmed by intimacy. This is something to not be rushed. To not, I mean, if there is distance and you have to travel to see them, that is good in that it can put a bit of space between you and this person, especially because passion was something that was clearly a big thing here. You have a lot of desire for this person, and if you know when you two are close to each other that it's almost like you can't not give in to the desire, they're saying you need to hold off on this. It's not the right, it's not about it not being the right time to reconnect with this person, but not physically, as in not jumping into bed with one another. It's not time yet because there's things that need to be dealt with. And also there's the element of having that chemistry and that desire towards each other, but holding off. I just heard tantric sex, so that's a lot of that's to do with the build up. Instead of giving into the desire instantly, you build up that tension, and then it makes the end result so much more impactful. But there's something about not rushing into the physical side of reconnecting with this person. Give it time. And give it time always makes me think it's been a long time here. So it's not something that you want to rush into getting into bed with someone when, if there's been a long separation, there's an element of getting to know each other again and letting things flow naturally. Not going 0 to 100. All right, give it time. Love spell. That's the thing. You've been bewitched. I don't think that you feel like this person's done any spell work or anything on you. I think this is more about you. The energy is almost like you're hesitating, but that's divinely orchestrated too. They're not wanting you to rush this because this is a real thing. And I think because you're just coming into acceptance of how much you love this person and want to go towards them, they don't want you to get ahead of yourself. It's kind of like you're coming out the other side of this dark night of the soul. You need to regroup and then figure out what you're going to do and then make that move and not rush this person, and also don't rush yourself. Vacation. Distance. So there is distance between you and this person. And fire sign, I called it before. I did say you could be a fire sign, especially with that love bombing card. You have a lot of passion for this person, a lot of passion for them. And you might even be, especially with that sexual chemistry and reminiscing, you remember this person kind of, they couldn't get enough of you and you couldn't get enough of them. It's like you're just, that magnetism towards each other is just so strong that's why there's like this feeling of take things slow. And this to me, for distance, to confirm that you will be traveling soon, you are at a physical distance from this person. It actually would, as in at least a plane ride away from this person, different states, different countries. You have to travel to see this person. And I think that in itself needs to be, especially because that came out with Mercury retrograde, which we've just finished on Saturday. They're asking you to review everything right now. It's like I'm trying to figure out how to say this where it makes sense, because it's like, it's not that the desire and the passion and the love is wrong, and the wanting to rush to see this person, wanting to rush to fix things. It's not that that's wrong and that you're wrong for feeling that. It's more that there's been a long time here. The intimacy, the desire for one another isn't the issue. It's about taking the time to reconnect and review your communication style, because clearly the physical aspect of this relationship was never the issue. It's the communication styles that have been an issue, especially with that rage card coming out. And clearly there's needing to be a lot of healing around that. So you need to review how things go when you first approach this person, and both learning to understand each other again, especially since it's been a long time, not leading with the fire. Date night, get ready to be wined and dined. So I think you want to, again, it just has this feeling of like you want to rush in and spoil this person, and you're just going to want to be all over them, and perhaps they're going to want to be all over you, but that needs to be tempered just so that I'm trying to find the words. Just take the time to get to know each other again and understand each other and have those conversations, because it's almost like I'm seeing two people jumping in bed together because you just want each other so much, and then afterwards having a conversation, and then the conversation gets out of hand and you both blow up at one another and then part ways again, devastated and feeling misunderstood by one another, and wishing you hadn't rushed the physical intimacy. It's better if you come to an understanding first, and then, okay, I understand where you're coming from now, and I see where you're coming from now, and then you're intimate, and then it feels so much more satisfying. Hopefully that's making sense. Okay. All right, so let's get your energy. I'll get one for you and one for them. What is the main collective's current energy? The otter. I don't think you're feeling like the otter right now. Okay, the hyena. This is what I mean. So, and this is fire. So you have a lot of fire in you. The hyena uses sarcasm and can be a bit passive aggressive when it comes to actually expressing themselves. They use jokes and sarcasm as kind of a passive aggressive way to make their point instead of just being serious about it. You've hurt my feelings, or it hurt my feelings that you did this, and this, or just this. And I want you to understand why, instead of making some sarcastic comment and expecting them to figure out your train of thought. That's the energy you're in right now, where you have this tendency to lean towards sarcasm and being a jokester instead of being truly vulnerable and opening up about what's hurting you, or even if it's something that just annoyed you or irritated you. Instead of hiding it with humor and masking it with jokes and sarcasm, be real. This is what I mean about rushing into the physical aspect of it, but not understanding each other on a deep, vulnerable way. That needs to be dealt with, because this is your current energy. You still have a tendency towards masking with humor. And it can also come across quite nasty and cold too, if that's you, if you lean towards that kind of way of communicating. All right, what's this person's current energy, the one you're desiring? The elk, that's good. Very grounded, great mothers, fathers, lovers, friends, you could be an earth and fire pairing, because the elk is earth and the hyena is fire. Mama bear, they could be a mum already or a dad. Elk is the masculine energy. So this person is sitting in their masculine energy right now. They're very grounded. They're very centered. All right, so let's read these. The hyena. Where is it? Oh, there it is. All right. Humour, wit and sarcasm. As I said, the hyena personality is a jokester and crowd pleaser, but below the surface there are unfulfilled dreams to be realised. And that, again, speaks to Let Down. The lyrics. Listen to or read the lyrics of that song if you don't know them. It's basically just feeling, the only word that I can think of is flat. Like nothing is inspiring. Everything just feels the same day in, day out. You feel unfulfilled in your life. When the hyena card appears, it's time to reflect on your reliance on sarcasm and humour to express your truth. Are you using jokes to hide old resentments in relationships, or to mask things that you feel uncomfortable discussing? What would happen if you took your goals seriously? When in balance, charming, witty, fun to be around. When out of balance, scrappy, petty and suspicious. To bring into balance, sobriety. So that might also be something you need to look at, is what you're putting into your body. Drinking, smoking, substances, the company you keep. These are all things that maybe part of this dark night of the soul that you're going through could be the need to clear out your system from these types of things. And these are the things that are basically numbing your mind, and it's not working anymore. Or even if it's working, but you still feel numb to the world around you, nothing's inspiring you, you feel like you have all this unmet potential in you, but what are you actively doing to change your circumstances? Are you just repeating the same day in, day out, and wearing a mask that everything's fine? You're the jokester, you're the larrikin, you're a happy-go-lucky guy, but inside you feel like there's got to be more to life than this. And if that's how you're feeling, desanitizing your mind with drugs, alcohol, whatever, I actually feel like this collective, you're already on the path of sobriety. Like it's something that you're already trying to do. And it's something that you've been guided to do. Because it completely numbs everything, and it takes time for it to not just to leave your system, but for your mind to clear so that you can then make decisive action. So that you yourself can go from a hyena to an elk. Okay, elk. Stable, resilient, headstrong, the father. And if you lacked a good role model in your father growing up, that could have led to this kind of wearing this mask, because it's something you had to do to, like, as a self-preservation thing, to protect yourself from ever being that vulnerable. Because when you were vulnerable as a child, either your father was abusive, he mocked you, he was competitive with you, didn't treat your mother. There's so many ways in which a father can let you down and not be a good, healthy example of a masculine. And for you to become this elk, you're going to have to learn it for yourself, because you don't have that example set for you. But it also means that you need to be wary of who you're actually idolizing too, because there's a lot of false idols out there, let's say. But the person that you're wanting to go towards, that you feel this great love for, they are stable. And I think that's how you always saw them too. Someone that perhaps can be headstrong, can be stubborn at times, but there's someone that no matter how many times life has kind of kicked them, they've gotten back up again, and they're always stable. You would have remembered this person as being someone consistent, loyal, stable, but for whatever reason, things had to end. But this is their current energy. The great elk represents the earth element in its masculine form. This means it provides underlying support and stability amidst life's many challenges. An elk personality, whether male or female, is fully established in themselves and knows their core values. They become known and respected for acting in ways that uphold those values. Sometimes the elk's ego can become inflated, but for the most part they make damn good fathers, mothers, lovers and friends. The world needs more elk energy. And as I'm reading it, I'm hearing they're saying you're transforming. So yes, I know I said this is you and this is them, but I'm actually hearing that if this is something you've been on the path for a while, especially if you've been working on your sobriety, you're developing into this elk. You are transforming from this hyena to this elk, someone that can be stable, someone who is resilient, someone who can be vulnerable and see that as a strength, not a weakness, with the right person. And I think that you see this person as someone that you can be vulnerable with. But perhaps in the past you wore a mask with this person, and anytime conflict arose, instead of handling it like this, you wore a mask and you were cold, sarcastic, passive-aggressive. You wore a mask. Someone who can detach very coldly and act like they don't give a shit and want to see the world burn and nothing affects them. Hang on a second. But I actually believe that Spirit is saying you're coming out of this energy. You're becoming this, which would make sense if you've been going through this dark night of the soul and you're coming out the other side of it. It's like, yes, this is earth energy, but even these colors, the fire, it's not that you're losing the passion. It's especially if you are a fire sign, like it came out in that other deck, but you're learning how to ground it. And you got rage as well. So if rage has been an issue for you your whole life, it affects not just your romantic relationships, but your friendships, your work place. You weren't able to handle taking any kind of criticism, constructive or otherwise. Like you're someone that has to do it your way and you can't handle being led in any way. That's this kind of energy. It's like you've still got that fire in you, but you're learning to ground it and become a stable, reliable person, someone that can be a constant and grounding presence in a relationship and in life. Okay, so with that being said, I just want to get, especially because I saw that as mama bear. The description in the book doesn't describe this as a mama bear, but what is the feminine in this connection, please? The whale. That's literally the divine feminine. How funny. And the bear, so it did want to come out. I do think that this person that you're connected, egg, the black egg, that's the egg of truth. That's the throat chakra in the spirit section of this deck. This is someone who can speak their truth and live authentically, and they spread that authenticity out into the world. So the person that you love, that you want to go towards, they have this beautiful, authentic energy that makes them compassionate and caring and very empathetic, but they're also fierce and protective of those that they love. And for some reason, I feel as though perhaps these are qualities in this person that you fell in love with, but then you questioned it. Especially if you hadn't ever experienced someone that pure before, you didn't believe that it wasn't manipulative. But with time and you slowly getting rid of this resentment you held towards them, especially if I saw a TikTok earlier that might resonate for this collective. And it was like, if you always react to people telling you things with anger or aggression, was your mother growing up always the victim? Because that's where that comes from. And perhaps as well, because your person has these qualities and they are genuinely pure-hearted, they're very compassionate, they are the divine feminine, it triggered something in you where it would create anger or resentment that you were holding on to from your own mother, because they were always perpetually the victim that you had to save. So when this person showed their vulnerability, their kind, pure nature, you saw it as manipulative, because that was your experience of the female, of the feminine. Just like having an unhealthy masculine in your life, your father, the mother was also an unhealthy. If she was, both parents can be manipulative and narcissistic, but you have one that is kind of the covert narcissist who always is perpetually the victim, and then that would create anger and resentment in the child that they then feel guilty about, because they're always having to save the mother, and then they hate the father for how they treat the mother, but that's what causes their rage. If you resonate with that, or if that's, creating some light bulb moments in your mind, you're always rescuing your mum. You're always responsible for your mother's well-being, when that should have been your father's responsibility, and your parents together should have been looking after your well-being. Anyway, this feminine represents a true divine feminine, a healthy feminine that can be vulnerable but strong, compassionate and warm and nurturing, but protective of those she loves. And it's like you saw those qualities, but then she herself could have been reacting in times of conflict with you from her broken place. But this is her current energy. So this is very beautiful. And this is a mix of water and earth. So that could be important in her chart. But I digressed a lot. Anyway, bear, waking from spiritual slumber, beginning anew. After a long winter, the bear arises from deep slumber. At first, the movement and effort are difficult, but the bear knows it's time to awaken and move toward the dawning light. The bear card represents an individual on the cusp of new directions and personal transformation. So they're kind of mirroring you, actually. The initial weeks and months of this spiritual quest may feel tricky, cumbersome, and full of obstacles, but you have no choice, bear. Winter wanes, the warmth of spring emerges, and your transformation begins. You're both going through a transformation. When in balance, inner strength and yearning to grow. When out of balance, withdrawal, lethargy, and heaviness to bring into balance, movement and exercise. So that could be something that this person, if you two are mirroring right now, where you're going through sobriety and what you're trying to clear out of your system, they too will be doing that in some way, shape, or form. So they themselves might be trying to get into physical exercise. Maybe their eating habits, they might not have been into drugs or alcohol or all that stuff like you. Not saying that that was your vice, but as an example. But their vice could have been just unhealthy eating, or even just obsessive thoughts or anxiety or depression, or staying cooped up at home all the time, not going out. There's ways you mirror where it's not exactly the same thing, but it is in a way, it's just in different forms. So I feel like you're both transforming in different ways right now. For them, it's their physical health. For you as well, but it's more sobriety and like physical exercise do kind of go hand in hand. Okay, the whale. There it is. Desire to delve deeper, profound peace and ancient wisdom. So that's the crone. That was your very first card out. I think that they have become, you've got the maiden, the mother, and the crone. It's like the three pivotal phases of a female's journey. And your feminine, I believe, is coming into her phase of wisdom and enlightenment, and is living in that purpose, living in that that wisdom that they've gained, the knowledge that they've gained from their spiritual journey, and cultivating that into something where they can share that wisdom. The whale represents profound emotional health and stability. Whale personalities are not afraid of emotional expression or traversing difficult terrain. That's where you've struggled, where you've worn the mask as the hyena and using humor and things like that. Your feminine has no issues with their emotional expression. They're a good communicator, and they're able to communicate with compassion. But for whatever reasons that you have your trauma, you would have seen those expressions as manipulative, because you'd know nothing else. These experiences, as they have overcome many challenges in their life. So where you, sorry, I know I keep veering off, but where you would have seen their emotional side as too much, it would have been too much for you. You're too sensitive. You're just their emotional reactions to things would have been too much for you, because you yourself were not able to feel that deeply, or you do, but you do not know how to express it. You mask. Whereas this feminine can express themselves clearly, concisely, and they know what they're feeling and how to communicate that. That was too much for you. But you're transitioning. Anyway, these experiences have enriched them, given them stability, strength, and a depth that is rare. Because a lot of people run from their feelings their whole life. They'll go, it's not that deep, you're too sensitive, because they can't meet themselves that deeply. This feminine has done the work, and they have come through to the other side just as pure-hearted as before, but their depth is unmatched. And this is why when the masculine isn't willing to do the work, he won't ever get to match the feminine, because she will pass him. And if he can't meet her where she's at, she's not going to unlearn what she's learnt to meet him lower down. He needs to meet her. And unfortunately, a lot of masculines don't want to do that, because it's painful and yucky, and that's where it's frustrating for feminines, because it's like, why can't you be like, it's tough to break generations of men who need to be tough, and you're not allowed to cry and you're not allowed to have emotions, but there's strength in being vulnerable, and until they can open up to that frequency, they can't be a stable presence for the feminine to feel safe and looked after and provided for, protected. Anyway, sorry, I know I'm going off on tangents. Whale energy is usually linked to the feminine forces of compassion and communication. We can depend on whale personalities when all else seems lost, and trust them to be a beacon in our darkest hour. So instead of resenting their emotional depth, using that as a beacon of light to guide you in life. Women's intuition, and men have intuition too, but it's like the feminine energy, the feminine intuition helps guide, and that's why the masculine is there to provide and protect, while she guides and nurtures. When in balance, calm, steady, and deeply compassionate. When out of balance, heavy and slips into the old story. To bring into balance regular self-care, which can also include exercise. So I think that you two are mirroring it in a big way, where they are going through a transition. Maybe they're starting to go through their 3D transition where they're working out how to balance their 5D with their physical reality. Whereas you guys have been dealing with the physical reality for so long and all these towers and things, you're transitioning from the physical to getting in touch with the emotional, the 5D, the spiritual side. So again, mirroring. Okay, so I just kind of want to delve into, actually no, let's get the universal truth of this connection. What is this connection? I'm just curious to see if you get soulmates or something like that, soul contract. What is the truth of this connection, please? The universal truth. What is this love? Love, literally the first card out, love. Unconditional love, but also self-love. You can only love someone as much as you love yourself, because if you don't feel like you deserve their love, you're not going to love them properly either. It goes for both sides, but again, passion, affection, attraction is not the issue. It's learning how to meet each other in a vulnerable way and hold space for that and be able to find strength in one another. But this is a connection that is unconditional love. You two deeply love each other. This is something that hasn't gone away over time. It's only deepened. The unsaid. So I'll get unspoken messages. Cheers. New beginnings, anniversary, milestone, date, celebration, meeting new people and happiness. But I'm actually seeing that as while you two are going through a transition right now, it's not the right time yet, but there is something happening that is bringing a new beginning for the two of you. And it might even be around an anniversary that you two have, some kind of milestone from back in your original connection. But you're going to be celebrating soon. The unsaid is showing I love you or like you without physically saying, didn't say it yet. Cupid's arrow on the bottom. Hang on, let me get unspoken messages. What has this collective left unsaid, please? I'm sorry for not being there when you needed me. So you're reflecting on how you walked away from the connection when this person was in a vulnerable place. The unsaid. I crave the connection we used to have. I miss your touch. So these are all things that you're feeling internally when it comes to this person, but you haven't been able to get vulnerable enough to reach out and say these things. You definitely go over the way you abandoned this person and the connection. I hope we can find peace and move forward. So the only way to do that is to be truly vulnerable with this person and take accountability for what's being done here. Real deep conversations, not surface level stuff. And again, that's another reason why jumping into the physical part is could backfire. I regret the distance I created between us. So again, there's distance here. And if you left this person, if you ended things and then this person had to, there's been physical distance put between you two and you're definitely regretting it. You crave that intimacy that you can't find anywhere else because you're not meant to. This is a deep connection. This is a deep love that transcends time. You got past lives, remember? But I think you're worried. I think you know that you left this person to pick up the pieces, and yes, you're going to feel you want to hope you feel shame and regret for it. You clearly do. I'm sorry for not being there when you needed me. But again, that's that self-love. You have to forgive yourself for reacting the way you did because you didn't know any other way how to. So that's the way, as bad as it was, the way you walked away from this, that's the only way you knew how to do it. So you have to be understanding towards yourself that the way you handled things, albeit not good, that's the only way you knew how. So knowing, okay, that's the only way I knew how. It came from a place of trauma, but moving forward, I don't want to be that way anymore. How can I fix it with you? Again, open, vulnerable, but proactive. I miss your touch. And I think as well, that's why you will be traveling soon, because I think that you as well, this collective understands that you're going to need to show effort and put effort in to travel to this person, because the distance was created because of you. I'm waiting for the right moment to reach out, and that's okay. I wish we had another chance. So these are all things that I think you're on the verge of being, like I said, you've got a fire under your ass right now. So you're on the verge of reaching out. I think it's more the intimacy, like the physical intimacy, that they're kind of wanting you to not jump into that side of things too fast, because there is things that need to be repaired here. There's been a rupture, and however long it's been since you've last talked to this person, the rupture was still there and it needs to be repaired. That needs to happen before jumping into bed with one another. All right, love. Okay, so you've got the Chaser with Wicked, but Wicked is being kind of... It can be cheating, but I think it's more about... for that to come out with the Chaser, and that's about fear of abandonment and chasing, like being codependent in a relationship because you have fear of abandonment, but in the end your behavior was harmful and it created harm to the connection. That's lies, deceit, cheating, acting in sneaky, deceptive ways and trying to justify it to yourself. These are all things that caused you to abandon the connection, abandon this unconditional love, because you were afraid you were going to be abandoned, so you wanted to beat this person to the punch. Or perhaps even you knew you weren't treating this person well. You could sense that things were going to end soon, so you ripped the Band-Aid off and did it first. And the way you did it, the way you left this person, that's something that you hold guilt for. But the only way to move forward and have a fresh beginning and celebrate a new start together is being able to have these conversations and clear the air and be able to move forward. And when these kinds of triggers reappear, to not judge this person and say you should be over it. We've already talked about this. You keep repairing the rupture until it's soothed. And then for you as well, when you're triggered, soothing it until you are able to trust each other again. The unsaid. Mall crawl, on the hunt, retail therapy, meeting at the mall, pleasantly surprised, a happy find. I actually think that you're going to be pleasantly surprised by how much you've grown. Because that's to confirm the unsaid, and I genuinely think that you're going to find that your vulnerability is actually one of your the sensitivity that you mask is actually one of your biggest strengths. So you have a big heart, and you just need to allow it to be that way and speak your truth to this person. Cheers. Cheers. Well, that's way too many. I like you under new beginnings, so that's good. I think that it's you two getting to know each other again, enjoying each other's company, really expressing how you feel about one another and celebrating a fresh start. Getting to know each other again and enjoying it. Yeah, on the bottom you've got rocking it, which is being yourself and being confident, loud and proud, hitting the right note, harmonious, concert, showing off. I don't see it as a negative to show off. I'm seeing it more as you two are really going to, if you can lean into these things that make you feel vulnerable, you're going to be pleasantly surprised by the outcome. Especially because them coming out as that whale, they're compassionate. They can meet you on a deep level. They are someone you can feel safe to be vulnerable around. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised that when you speak the things that you have kept so close to your chest, that you're going to be happy with, you're going to realize that you didn't need to hide it this long, that they were always open to you expressing yourself, that you didn't need to be hiding, basically. And when you realize that, and you realize that this is actually going to go better than expected, you two are going to celebrate each other and you're going to enjoy it. You're going to get all this confidence back. You're going to get that spark back that you've been missing, where life has felt so dull and uninspiring. Actually, I'm going to get one more. Drop the mask and coffin. Endings bring new beginnings. This had to end so that you could have a new beginning as the better versions of each other. You're going to gain clarity over what it means to be a good partner, is what I just heard. Receiving what you need, the boat. Progression arriving, moving on, closure issues. You're not going to have closure issues anymore because you're going to give each other what you need. Stalk. Not stalk as in stalking. Stalk as in the arrival of a baby. But also, it could be a new addition in that sense, that's where this is leading to. Again, remember, breaking cycles so that your lineage going forward does not keep carrying the same traditions and cultural things that are not healthy into the next generation. But this is baby, child, pregnancy, children, family, good news, inspiration. Again, that inspiration is going to come back into your life. You're going to have joy. You're going to have happiness, children with the right partner and being the right partner. And there's pride in that, feeling like I know that I am a good, strong partner and I'm a good provider and I can be a good mother, father. Okay, so let's get your intention. Yeah, we'll get intention and then we'll get advice. What is this collective's intention or what is your next intentions? What is your next moves? Where are you at with this? Your current feelings. Inner turmoil, and that makes sense. Doubting and questioning your decisions, fight between the mind and the heart, feeling worried, conflicted and agitated. excuse me, and unhappy with your life's choices. Number 63. I am bounded physically, mentally, and spiritually. I feel there is no way out from where I am. That's not true. I feel imprisoned because of my own doing. I'm trying to fight my inner demons, but it's just so difficult at times. That's what you need to break free from. Difficult differences, and time is ticking. So again, remember I said early on, there's been a lot of time here. So I think that you're starting to worry about how much time is passing. But this is the thing. You're going to realize, especially with that pleasantly surprised, yes, there's been a long time since you've talked to this person, but this is where you're going to get this confidence back and this spark in your life, because you're going to be like, why the heck did I wait so long? Because you're going to end up being shocked at how well this turns out. It's more your fears and insecurities that are playing on your mind right now. But then it's kind of one of those things, it's like you're so afraid, and then you finally do it, and then you're like relieved, and you're like, oh my God, that turned out way better than I expected. And you're like, why didn't I do that sooner? That's the vibe I'm getting from this. But difficult differences. Again, cultural traditions, there could be a clash in you and this person's upbringings and your communities that you've been around, different religious backgrounds, differences of opinions and ideas in love, differences in status, money, power, or culture. One awakened while the other is unawakened. I think you were unawakened for a long time, and perhaps culture was one of the things you thought we just have, our values don't align, but the things that you thought were values, you're realizing are just bad traditions that have cycled down. Our differences drove us apart, and it angered me that you didn't understand where I was coming from. It still pains me we can't come to an agreement even if we love each other. But this is why the conversations need to be had. And even if this person misunderstands what you're saying, that's your opportunity to clarify to them till they do understand. And you need to have that same patience for them. If you are misunderstanding what they're saying, or if you feel yourself getting triggered when they're telling you how they feel, ask them to clarify. Or tell them what you think you heard or interpreted from what they said, and let them clarify. This is how you find understanding. And then you get stronger because you learn one another and learn that it's not as big as you're thinking it is. Things moving too fast or not moving at all. Currently they're not moving at all, but perhaps a worry of yours as well is that maybe in the past things move too quick. Time is difficult to calculate when in union, but feels never ending when apart. So this could also be you've been in separation longer than you were ever together. I'm trying to be patient. I want you to return, and I want to return to you. Being apart from you feels like an eternity, and I think you felt that pain. You felt the pain of being apart from them. You missed that connection. 63, 12, and 9. $11, 11:35. That could be important. Just heard maybe you're watching this and it's 11:35 on the clock. Denial of connection. So this is the thing, the inner turmoil, your denial over what this connection really is to you. For a long time, you denied the connection. Our values don't align. We're incompatible. We fight too much. It's just misunderstanding one another. Love isn't enough. It's like, yeah, love isn't enough. You need to be able to understand each other and learn each other and grow from it. And then you become unstoppable. Other people cannot infiltrate your love when you understand each other properly. Too fast, too soon. again, so that confirms the whole, in the past it might have gone 0 to 100. That's why they're saying, they're kind of warning you, don't let that happen again. Don't go 0 to 100 again because you're so passionate about one another and want to rip each other's clothes off. You need to find that understanding and clear the rupture, repair the rupture that happened in the past. There is another person, could be family, could be friends, another romantic connection, not ready for the deep connection. This is your inner turmoil between your head and your heart, thinking that you're not ready yet. But I think you did get no, it's not the right time. In divine timing, let things flow. Afraid of hurting you or hurting themselves, number 34. I realize there is something between us, but I do not have the time or the capacity to understand it. Everything is too much, too soon, and I have other things I need to deal with. So there is other things that you're prioritizing right now, but that makes sense, because if you've been going through a dark night of the soul and you're just starting to come out of it, you need to let the dust settle, and you also, there's kind of having these epiphanies, but then actually integrating them. I just heard you might be 34. That's too many. But you've got soulmate and you've got chaser again. Chaser's come out twice here. So this is a memory. Winter, but we're in Australia and these are American cards, so it doesn't have to be winter, but winter could have been the... like as in you two were together during the winter months. But you've got, this is a memory, December 22nd to February 6th, February 7th to March 19th. So significant memories. It could be breakups, makeups, when you met this person, significant conflicts or anniversaries or your last points of communication. Those are important dates. But you've got soulmate here. Needs are equally met. Challenges you to be more giving and loving, deeply connected without the codependency or neediness. I feel you are my equal. You make me want to be a better person, not just for you, but also for myself. You challenge me to change and grow. Chaser, number 48, feels unwanted and self-blames. And that's the thing, perhaps you felt unwanted by this person in the past, but again, reflecting on the way you left this person, and you do feel remorse for it, so it's kind of playing the victim in the situation you created. Feeling pain and hopelessness in the confusion, in the confusing situation. Feeling empty and lost without twin. Experiences dark night of the soul. I don't know what I did to put... Yeah, see, this is the victim mentality. I don't know what I did to push you away, but you ended things. Was it something I did? Was it something I said? You told me you loved me and you never felt this way before. Then why did you leave me? But you know that you created the circumstances that made this person have to walk away. And then on top of that, create physical distance between you two. All right, one more. Time is ticking. I think this is why it's not time yet, because I think you're still very muddled in your head about this. It's like, you know, your soul's crying out to you, you know, but you're still a bit fighting your head a bit, or a lot. Or two more then. Future focus and drinking the Kool-Aid. So other people's opinions. And this is what I mean. I really think that family has been a big influence here. And maybe for a long time, you didn't even realize how much they were influencing and impacting your connection. Listens to others and disregards their own feelings. So you were prioritizing other people's opinions of your connection over your own and over your person. Knowingly goes along with other people's plans and ideas without thinking of their own well-being. So again, prioritizing these other people, most likely family, just trusting everything that they say to you, especially if your person was pulling you away from them. And not in a malicious way, but in a, they wanted the best for you, and perhaps your family aren't the best for you. I followed blindly to what everyone else was telling me. They made me believe our connection wasn't real and that it was just a waste of my time. I know now that was untrue. So these people told you that your person was no good for you and to leave them, and they're the reason for all your pain and suffering. That pain and suffering was already there and most likely caused by them. But you trusted their opinion over what you wanted, or potentially you didn't even know what you wanted. Future focus, strong sense of self and feeling hopeful. This is really good. Strong sense of self means that you know what you want and you don't care what you're not drinking the Kool-Aid anymore. Awakened and being aligned with connection, positive outlook on life and focusing on the future. Good. I'm devoted to returning to you. I'm starting to feel hopeful about the future because I see you being a big part of it. What a great final card. And intuition, you're trusting your intuition. Perfect. It finally dawned on me why I feel so drawn to you and why our connection is so intense and scary. I'm starting to understand my fears and my overwhelming emotions towards you. Perfect. I think you're really coming into your own, finding that inner strength. And as well, it could be one of those situations where you've given so much of yourself to these people all your life and it was just expected. It was obligation. It was familial, cycles, generational, blah, 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 traditions, this, that, whatever. And they're the ones that you listened to. The person that loves you unconditionally, that wants the best for you, that sees your highest potential, was the scapegoat here. And that's not to say your connection didn't have issues. There was clearly conflict for you to go to others and get their opinions and listen to it. But that's why the separation happened. So it doesn't... There's a lesson in this where you shouldn't be going to the people that caused your damage for advice, even if they, on the surface, seem like they want the best for you and they think that your person isn't the best for you, but they're coming from a broken place. They're also the people that caused your damage. So you need to be self-assured and confident in knowing what you want and how to move forward in your life. Their opinions be damned. Okay, let's get advice for you then. What is your advice for this? Actually, just quickly, I want to get these message cards. Let's see what comes out. Oh, mother wounds. There it is. So this might trigger you, but too bad. Tough love. My mother is a big influence on my behavior now as an adult. So if your mother was always a victim, if your father wasn't a good example in the home, in whatever way that is, didn't treat you very good, didn't treat your mum, siblings, whatever, but you were always having to protect your mum. You were always, you understand, you know what I'm saying. I have challenges with connecting to the divine feminine energy within me and externally. So again, you seeing your feminine as manipulative, or that they can't be this pure person that you fell in love with. They must be manipulating me. The people that you listened to, the Kool-Aid that you drank, could have even been saying that, especially a mother. Saying that this person's not good for you, you don't get along, they're bad influence, or they make you depressed, all this stuff, all that stuff that was within you anyway because of them. And then you took that out on the feminine. But you're waking up to it now. Emotional intimacy. I'm afraid to truly open up to you. Being raw and authentic with my emotions is something I'm still working on. because you've been so used to wearing a mask all your life and hiding it with sarcasm and humor to protect yourself. But now you know, you're self-aware now, so you can work on it. And definitely look into getting therapy. And also, don't go to your mother for advice. Just advice from me. Ghosted. I'm sorry I disappeared. This is what I mean. The way you cut this person off, you cut them off out cold, abandoned them, and then there was physical distance put between you. So it's not just emotional distance, physical distance as well. I needed to get away and clear my head. But again, it does play on your mind how you left things with this person. But there lies where you need to have that self-love to understand why you only knew to get away from the connection in that way. Understanding it, but still taking accountability for it when you're trying to repair things with this person. Not making excuses for it. Understanding why you behaved that way, but then making amends for it. Not the right time, again. So you got no, it's not the right time before. So I actually think that you're waking up to all these things. It's starting to you're getting those light bulbs going off in your head, particularly around this and why you've been emotionally stunted because of your mother wounds. I'm overwhelmed with responsibilities, and that could be another thing. Maybe, especially if you felt like you've always had to rescue your mother, she's always the victim. She might even play tough, like she doesn't need your help, but she knows how to manipulate. So that's why you thought your feminine was manipulative, because that's what you'd always experienced with your own mother. They know how to pull on your heartstrings or make you feel responsible for them. Anyway, so your responsibilities to your mother is something that you feel trapped by, perhaps, as well. It makes you feel like you don't have time and energy to put into a relationship because you're already kind of enmeshed in one. Showing out. This is wearing the mask. This is the hyena. I'm acting like I don't care about what's happened between us, but I do. I just want to appear unbothered. And that's under mother wounds. So this is something, again, you always mask that you're okay when you're not, because you weren't allowed to be the victim because she was always the victim. So you always had to be okay. Where there's a will, there's a way. Attitude, when really you were dying inside. And then on top of that, hang on, what was that? The crone came out. So again, mother figure. Plant medicine, that could be significant. Always feeling like you had to be positive because someone else has it worse. People always are going to have it worse. That doesn't invalidate your pain. You're allowed to be sad. Ghosted. Unblock me. So maybe this person, I miss you and want to connect. Please unblock me, literally or energetically, so we can speak. I have a lot to say, and that's under ghosted, which is kind of ironic, the way you cut this person off cold and left them when they would have needed you, but you're wanting them to block you. If they haven't actually got you physically blocked on social media or your number's not blocked and stuff, I think this is, again, something that is all in your head. If you're not actually blocked, it's like you're energetically blocking yourself because you think that this person couldn't possibly want to hear from you. So you convince yourself this is that whole thing I was saying. When you finally do reach out and see how well it's going to go, you're going to be like, why the heck did I wait so long? On the bottom, my fantasy. It's just don't rush things. You're my fantasy. I have pictures and videos saved of you and use them for inspiration. I want you. Well, we know that. That's been a big thing here. The issue is working on your issues and being able to understand one another, communicate it, and not letting outside influences affect your connection. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Because every other person around you is saying there's plenty of fish in the sea, relationships shouldn't be that hard, blah, blah, blah. And who are the ones saying this? Not that relationships should be that hard, but there is a degree of needing to understand one another. And you can only do that by learning what each other needs, and you get better over time, and your relationship gets stronger over time. Okay. What is your advice for this collective, please? 555. Oh, no, it wasn't. Anyway, you're going through a transition, that's for sure. Knight of Wands. Leading with passion. Charismatic Casanova. Although, yeah, it says quick moving and flirty. If you left things the way you did and you approach this feminine this way, it isn't going to go well, because if you come across as being the funny guy, wearing a mask and acting all lustful towards them, they're not going to take you seriously. They're saying take action, but don't act like a fool. Don't be driven by lust when it comes to this. Temperance, be patient, find balance, alchemize that fiery nature of yours and use it to transform. Everything in moderation. Queen of Cups. You struggle with learning how to tap into your divine feminine within, your compassion, your empathy, and you're going to need to have that. They're advising you, tap into that Queen of Cups energy, that empathy, that loving, nurturing side of you that can meet this feminine as deeply as they are able to meet you. And you would know they deserve that. You could be a Cancer as well. This is heavy on the Sagittarius, but you've got Cancer here. That could be in your chart a lot of fire, definitely, but a bit of water here. You really need to take care. They're saying, be compassionate towards yourself, but you need to be compassionate towards this feminine too. You need to be able to have both, feminine and masculine, and be able to use that compassion and empathy towards them, knowing what you've done here as well. And being patient with them too, because of the damage that was caused. Knight of Wands. What's that? Ten of Swords. Yeah, if you approach them with that Knight of Wands energy, it's going to create a painful ending again. They're advising you, don't numb yourself anymore. Stop creating this internal suffering that doesn't need to be there. That pain can be over if you stop suffering in silence and express yourself. The Star, hope under Temperance, 2 major arcana. This is hope, healing, inspiration, wishes, renewed, spirituality, individual, creative thinker. If you have patience with your healing and you use this chance to transform, there is hope in this, and you will feel hope again to go towards this feminine. Queen of Cups. The World, completion, Leo. You will complete this. Eight of Cups, walking away from what no longer serves you. Desire for more, letting go of the past, and you will complete the old shitty chapter of pain and level up in your life. You can achieve great things. And you'll achieve great things together because you will have learnt your karmic lessons. And I think that's what you're going through right now. You're learning karmic lessons. And this Eight of Cups is also a travel card. I think your desire for more as well in your life is going to help push you not just towards your feminine, but moving away from the issues that you currently feel bound by, the things that you think are consuming you right now that you can't escape, but you actually can. You just need to learn that you have to let go of certain people and places to have a new beginning. And I think part of your transformation is that, having that. They're saying here, if you have patience with yourself and you find balance, this transformation will change your life and you won't miss out. You're going to achieve great things together. You just need to complete this part of the journey. And the knowledge that you're gaining from it is immense. It will help you on this next chapter of your journey in life. Two of Cups. Outcome is the Two of Cups. Soulmate connection. In love, union. Harmonizing this union. Again, it's going to turn out better than expected. You're going to be pleasantly surprised by this interaction. Happy relationship, reconciliation, divine love. And then you've got justice on the bottom. You will get justice in this situation. You just need to balance out. Understanding as well that you have a responsibility to yourself and to this person to make things right. And when you do that, you will see the cause and effect that happens from that. The decisions that you make now will lead to, and that's another Cancer card too, so Cancer is important here. You've got Sagittarius and Cancer, heavy. And then you've got Gemini, Aquarius, Leo. You've got most of the signs here. But yeah, you're going to come to an agreement, and I think you're going to feel more fulfilled when you are able to get away from your family and the things that... It's not even just about getting away from your family. It's also a Ten of Cups. It's also about you healing those parts of yourself that caused you to run from this connection in the past, because that's your responsibility. Doesn't mean you didn't deserve what happened to you, but it happened. So now it's your responsibility to do the healing. And you can do it. You clearly, their advice for you is you can get past this pain, the betrayal that you felt in your life, all the times you were in your darkest hour and didn't think you were going to survive. All the painful endings in your life, you are going to make it through, and it's going to make you even more compassionate and nurturing, especially if you are able to help others get through painful endings in their life because of what you've experienced. And then you put that out into the world and help others and show them that you can heal, you can be better, and what you get from it. A beautiful relationship and perhaps babies. A happy relationship, being in love, and that you deserve it. And you have to believe you deserve it so that you can receive that love and then also give that love back. right, let's get these. What do you need to surrender to? And then we'll get a closing message. For some reason, I'm getting pulled to these little cards. Hang on. Family on the bottom, that's why. But this is starting a family and making a home, feeling safe and secure, and making the people in your home feel safe and secure, your feminine, any children that you may have, the family that you two create together. Gamble, take a risk. They're telling you take the risk. You might feel like especially if you went through such a painful ending and you felt like it took you so long to get back on your feet again, but you not showing your feelings is more painful than taking the risk. You're going to be pleasantly surprised. Roll the dice. Fired up. This is you. You're full of fire. I think it's like you're ready to explode with how much you feel for this person, but also very angry about the people you listened to, the things how you acted in the relationship, how you treated this person during and at the end and then after. I think you're angry about a lot of things that have happened to you, and that's something that you need to learn how to cope with in a healthy way. I think you get overwhelmed by it, and that's something that needs some work. Jealousy. So they're saying be careful of your jealousy here, because rumors and pettiness and talking behind people's back, that's what got you into trouble in the first place. And hurt this person. And by hurting this person, you also hurt yourself. Also your family as well. Their advice can also come from a place of jealousy because they didn't like the connection that you had. They could feel this person pulling you away from them, and that wasn't a bad thing. For them, maybe, triggers. Definitely triggered them. But as well, if you got jealous over your person and it would trigger you that they were going to abandon you, so then you hurt them. I think you're aware of that though, and that's part of your anger. You have a lot of anger towards yourself. Yeah, you're bottling it up, and that's to confirm gamble. You need to take the risk because bottling it up is so unhealthy, and you're going to then explode. Keeping things inside, not opening up. There's so much about not opening up. You repress too much. You need to express yourself. Again, I just keep hearing it's going to be this moment of like, God, why did I wait so long? Surprise. Why did I wait so long? Unexpected action. Maybe spontaneously you're just going to show up and be like, I am here. I'm ready to make the changes. I want to make this work. And you're going to feel fired up about it. You're going to feel very motivated to make things better with this person. Pursuit. So perhaps even the jealousy is going to create that chasing in you. You're going to be like, I don't want this person. I don't want to miss out on my chance to be with this person because time is ticking and they're potentially going to meet someone else, and that's my person. No one else can have them. You are hunting them down, so to speak, but you need to be persistent. And with that persistence, you need to have empathy for this person, faith, but keep faith in this. Your prayers, your wishes will come true. You just need to keep having faith that it's going the way that you're being guided in the right way. Right, I'm not going to get those. Let's get a closing message. This has gone on too long. What is your closing message? Oh, that was quick. Freedom flows. Break free from your circumstances. Don't hold yourself back from worldly freedom. Dream grand things for divine, sacred reason. You are the only one limiting yourself. Break free. It's going to work out for you. Just trust and keep doing the work on yourself and find balance. Break free. It's going to be great.